Hello, my lovely Leos. Welcome to Soulsick Tarot. My name is Christina, and I'm going to be doing your general read for the upcoming week of January, coming up to the Leo full moon. I hope that y'all are doing well. Let's see what we can get here from my Leos. The Mountain and Kairos and the Healer. The Nectar. Offering. Very colorful. The prayer. The village. That village. That village is always in the way. Okay, let's see what we have here, because whoa. Okay, the village, the mirror, the orphan, the mountain, the healer, oh shit, the prayer, Kairos, nectar, and the lovers. Okay. Let's see here. Leos. I want to start with the mountain. I mean, you can see the person emerging there, and I feel like Leo right now, you guys are coming out of the mountain. I mean, the idea is you find all the treasure and the jewels on the inside of the mountain. That's where all the pressure is, and that's where all of the value is created. And we've been in the mountain. And, we're coming out of the mountain. And I just kind of feel like it's just this idea of coming out of a state of pressure, intense pressure, and being able to travel up. One of the ideas behind this card is that, there are two paths, the miner's path and then the one on the outside. And you can take the one on the outside, without going within the mountain, or you can, come out of the mountain and travel up. And the idea is that if you don't go in the mountain and you travel up, you need to be cautious because you don't want to be looking your nose down on people. But Leo, I really kind of feel like at this point in time, it's just that idea of like you're coming out of the mountain and you're traveling up. And I almost want to say it's almost like you're not even looking back. Because what I think that was like this idea of the village and being held captive by just fractured images reflected back to you of who you are, and under that pressure and under that fractured image, you were left feeling very alone, and fearful, I think, of letting go, because you weren't sure, like if I let go of this, then what will become of me? And yet, I think that you took the time. I mean, the Kairos is, this is my creeper card, but also, like patiently waiting on something that you've kept an eye on, and I think that while you were in the mountain, just kind of this idea of like the healer, of just patiently waiting. I want to say for like your turn, You know, it's kind of like this. I know that if I ever want to move forward, I'm going to have to just like push through this. And I think oftentimes feeling, you know, like criticized for doing what you knew needed to be done to really sincerely move forward and onwards and upwards, you know, because you had something that you were envisioning for yourself. I mean, the prayer is kind of like the manifestation, and you're like, okay, like I know that if I'm going to do this, like if I'm going to really find value in me, I'm going to have to, what was kind of that idea of like flipping the script, like having bad narratives written about you and like being trapped under those narratives. And then, you know, like pulling away from all of those narratives and really sitting with yourself and taking the time to heal yourself. Because you knew you wanted to make it out of the mountain. You know, you were like, I know I'm going to make it out of here. It's just a matter of time, you know, like, but you were patient because you had healing that needed to be done, you know? And, you know, a lot of that was just this feeling alone. And, you know, like you had this narrative that was just being put on you that you had to let go of. And then we have the offering, the nectar, and the lover. And I want to say that, Leo, you guys have an offering that's coming to you, possibly of love. So, I mean, you know, like the nectar is just kind of like that life-giving, I want to say like sumptuous and tempting. You know, it's like it's so beautiful and it's so fragrant, and you know, I mean, it's just kind of like this idea of like reaching out to a life that you love. I love that, like the offering, you know, it's like reaching back. It's like something's being offered to you. And honestly, Leo, I mean, like this could also be work related, because I mean, it could be that there's something that you really love that is offered to you, where you're just like, you're ready for it. You know, you're like, I've been in the mountain. I've gone through this, I don't know if I want to say cycle, but it's like this idea of like, you know that you want what's being offered to you. Like there's no question in your mind. Like you could have 3 different offers come to you, you know, like all of a sudden fucking jobs falling out of the sky, you know, and you're like, but I know that that's the one that I want because that's what I love. And, you know, or relationship wise, you know, it's just kind of that, I feel like there's just this knowing involved and you're like, that's what I want. But it's like, it's all being offered to you. It's almost that idea of like, you've let go of the orphan mentality and everything that you prayed for, everything that you had patiently waited on, just like literally falls out of the sky. And so you're following your intuition, you know, because you're just kind of like, I feel like there's the Queen of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Magician, King of Swords, the Three of Cups, or Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck. With the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords that popped out. I mean, this is like high level honesty, truth, decision, authority. And then you have the Magician and the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, I guess a couple of things popped into my head. One is that you are, it's almost like you are just creating this financial abundance. I mean, creating it out of nowhere, but with the offering, you know, it's almost, and the prayer, and Kairos, it's kind of this idea that you've been patiently waiting for your turn. I said that already, but that you know, just kind of like, you've been manifesting this. You know, you've been sitting with this. You've been knowing that you had escaped the village, you know, and the fractured images and the shitty storylines that were, you know, they didn't resonate with you, but you were afraid to let it go. And then once you let it go, it's almost like everything that you've been patiently waiting for comes to you. You know, it's being offered to you. You know, the Ten of Pentacles is you're good. You're good financially. You know, you're like, yes, that's what I've been waiting for. That's the offer that I've been waiting for. Leos, it's possible that you guys have already kind of started, you know, through the process with some of these things, and that you have just like, I want to say like some decisions to make. And I feel like there's really not even a decision to be made. It's almost this idea of like you intuitively know exactly where you're supposed to be. You're like, that's the direction I'm supposed to go, you know, and it's everything that you had wanted previously that wasn't. I want to say financially, honestly. I mean, you have the Lover here, but like also if there's something that you loved doing and you weren't being successful in it previously, like it was just like every time I just come up against this wall and it's like it's not working, and it's almost as though it wasn't working because it wasn't where you were meant to be, and you had to go through all of these processes and clear out all of the negativity and take the time to heal yourself. And now that you've done that, it's like whoosh, everything falls into place, and you know which way to go. You have this like strong intuition that the Knight of Swords, you know, it's just kind of that again, that idea of like, I know which way I want to go. There's no hesitation, because it's like, you know that you spoke this into existence. You know that you manifested this. All these swords. Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Swords. Truth for days. Okay, let's see what else we can get here for my Leos. Go over to the Hidden Realm really quick. The Three of Wands. And then it's a card of creation. The Knight of Swords again. Leos, for our last read, I want to say, it was that idea of just this massive transformation. Like everything that was no longer was, and everything that is just like you know. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you took the time to heal. You took the time to really face yourself and be honest with yourself and face your fears and let go of what needed to be let go of. And it's almost like no sooner do you do this than everything that you wanted is falling into place, financially. I mean, you have the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, and I feel like that's, like this idea of partnership. I want to say with employment, but like also possibly in a relationship, because of the fact that we have the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Three of Wands that popped out. So it's almost like this idea of someone hearing the call, and offering their love. I want to say that this is all them. Like, I don't think this is you. Honestly, Leo, you are on, the receiving end of this offering. Not because, I mean, I feel like, I feel like you're on the receiving end of this offering because it's not anything that you would have pursued of your own accord, whether it's a job, and it's like a friend of yours mentions it, or, like a recruiter calls you, or, it's just kind of like you weren't seeking it out actively. And then, bam, there it is. This offering of something that you've been, waiting for. You're like, oh my God, I've been waiting forever. Finally. And then, like a love offering, just kind of this idea of somebody saying like, listen, I want to partner with you. I want to create with you. I want to, like love you. I want to say like, go on a journey with you. I mean, not like a trip, although I mean, like maybe for some of my Leos, y'all go on a trip too, but I'm not getting the feeling that that's what this is entailing. I feel like it's more just this idea of like this person, and I don't know if it's somebody new or somebody old, but it's just like this idea of like them almost like hearing the call of change, or hearing the call of passion. I mean, especially if you're starting a new job. I mean, it could be that, like bad idea to date people that you work with, but you never know who you meet and how you meet them through who, but it's also that idea of, like you're meeting new people, you left the village and now you're moving into, like a different environment. And so, you're meeting people, and it could be that it's like somebody that you just like resonate with them, and it's almost like they hear the call of your spirit, they like answer the call because I want to say that they're just like drawn to you, in a way that feels very intense, and again fits into this idea of just massive transformation. Like you look back at what was, and you're just like, I can't believe that I ever even engaged with some of the things that I engaged with, like, I can't believe I ever accepted a job like that. I can't believe I ever, like dated that dude or entertained the thought, or, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like that. You look back and you look forward and you're just like, it's like night and day. And I feel like that is just like an across the board, like night and day. And Leos, I feel like we're just really kind of like at that, I want to say like at the door of it, kind of like now we know which door we're going through. Or maybe you don't know which door you're going through yet, but you're going to figure it out soon. And it's going to be something that's offered to you that just kind of like seems to come out of nowhere. And yet, that it's something that you've been patiently waiting for. And, this offer is made to you, and you're moving toward this abundance. I mean, you've got the 10 of Pentacles, the Lovers, this idea of like coming out of the mountain, and progressing forward in life, which is all fantastic. Leo, I hope this resonates for y'all, and you have a fantastic week, and I'll see y'all again soon. Bye.